Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Captain Marvel Monday. And it's amazing how often I don't even have to go looking for Brie Larson news, and it shows up at my front door. So I saw this pop up a day or so ago, and I thought I was watching a rerun. Now, I don't know who this is. This doesn't look like her. This looks like a cosplayer of some sort, but maybe it's her. But her face is usually not that so shiny. She has her makeup a little bit better. But I thought, well, this smells familiar, and anybody who's been watching my videos, this is a video I did last May about a petition to replace Captain Marvel, and it was gaining steam, and at least that was what the article was talking about. So I thought, is this the same petition, and someone's just rehashing this? Because previously, with the petition, we had this. We got this cover had information on it, and unfortunately now the ads have resized everything. And this was the article in question. And then some people who were defending Brie Larson were saying it's just a bunch of trolls. So this is back in May. This is May 11th. This is 9 months ago. I'm not sure what date. And my video was back in mid-May. So I was like, that's weird. And right below it was another article about Brie Larson making demands for Avengers 5. So I was like, this is Weirdville here, okay? And that's this article. So we have a petition from the same day, different sites. This is thethings.com. So take it with a grain of salt. I don't know much about this. And what's interesting is this feels like the same petition. It's getting close to hit the 30,000 mark. And it's LGBTQ. They talk about a gay woman of color, just like the other article. Now, what I didn't click was on this petition. Now, let's see if it's got. I think this is the same petition. Yep, Spike Valentine. That's who did the original one. So this one's been sitting out here for, what is this? This is January. So we're looking at 7 months minimum. I guess that's not right? February, March, April, May. That's 4 months out. So 8 months. 8 months ago, this is when I covered it. So I was like, and 30,000. With a movie that grossed over $1 million in Captain Marvel, and we can that's worldwide, and we can talk shenanigans all we want. It's still $1 million gross. Who knows how much it really made? People keep saying it made $1 billion. It didn't make $1 billion. It grossed $1 billion. The net, no, they have never reported the net. And as far as Phase 5, we have no information about Captain Marvel, assumed to be 2022. It's just an assumption. So we have this. Granted, I don't know anything about the author of this piece. I don't know what they think about, by Romeo. Okay. I don't know if they like Brie Larson, don't like, I don't know. I have to say so, but there's this, and I get the idea because of Monica Rambeau. Okay. And, the 80s version of Captain Marvel, I guess Miss Marvel back then. But this is based off the most recent, Captain Marvel iteration. So, she's a white blonde-ish character. And I guess why so much hate? Probably because of what she said in public, and kind of pissed off some fans. I don't know. But this also caught my eye and was very odd. So in the same time, we have Brie Larson. There's an underground movement. I don't know if it's trolled. I don't know anything about Skip Valentine at all, right? So I don't know who they are, what their agenda is, if it's real or just, it's, I don't know if it's grassroots or AstroTurf, right? It could be something to kind of hype the whole allure or whatever. Okay. Negative press that's fake. Then we have this. She has some demands to return for Avengers 5. Now in Avengers 5, most likely, depending on if Sony plays ball properly, we're going to have Spider-Man. We're definitely going to have Captain Marvel. We'll probably have Ant-Man. We'll probably have Black Panther in some regard. The big ones are gone, right? We might have Robert Downy Jr. coming back, there might be some kind of Iron Man-ish thing, either as AI or something, but not the main characters. And so phase 4 and 5 are going to be very interesting. And the Avengers moving forward are going to be very different. And Feige's even said that there's some we haven't seen. There, do we get the internals? And here we go. And this is part of what is in this article. So Iron Man, Captain America, Hulk, and Black Widow are all gone. So what is she demanding? Well, she's demanding equal pay. Now there's a surprise. She was paid, I want to say she was paid $5 million for her Captain America movie. That's what I'm guessing. I'm trying to remember, and I think it was that high. I knew that it was only $500,000 for Downey Jr. and Iron Man, because it was a gamble, right? We didn't know if this thing, Hulk, the amazing, Hulk was before Iron Man. It didn't really do well. Iron Man took off in many respects because of who played him, but it was also better written, I think, better casted, and it had a better storyline than the Hulk movie. And this built up over time. So you had Chris Hemsworth came in from Thor. You had Captain America come in, Chris Evans, and you had the Guardians of the Galaxy. You had this building over several years that led to the Avengers. And now that's all with Endgame. That's all done for the most part. So there's speculation that, and that's down here, there's that belief anyway, that Marvel wants Tom Holland to be the leader and therefore the highest paid because of the position he holds. And so this $15 million for Evans, Johansson, Ruffalo, and Renner is, I think in many ways they earned that, right? They put their time in through these various movies. They were supporting characters all along the way, but they added a lot to the team dynamics. They did some heroic deeds of their own. They had their own storylines. Scarlett's finally getting her own movie, I think way too late, but we can argue that. Hawkeye, maybe he needs his own, maybe he doesn't. But $50 million a piece for Endgame, I think, is pretty good. I don't know what Brie Larson was paid. She wasn't in the movie very long. I mean, you can go add up all her minutes if you want. But if she's going to be the leader, that's different. So, I find it very interesting. The petition is not the only thing. Okay. That's kind of against her. She was paid more for her first standalone movie than Robert was. Perhaps any of them. I'm not sure. Don't know what all of but we know that it was significantly more than what Robert Downy Jr. was paid for Iron Man. Until those things took off and brought in some money, quite a bit of money, he wasn't paid. Basically as time went on, he was paid for that retroactively in many ways, right? So there's a meritocracy at work here as well, and really, we know phase 4 and 5 are going to be very different, but the fact that they still won't confirm Captain Marvel 2, we've got at least 2 different women who've been announced as being the writers of it. The one that we believe is the right one, none of them have very much experience. They have a bit of a woke streak to them. I think it's going to be a hot mess. Okay. And they even say in here, gross over $2 billion. Someone said, say here that Captain America made $1 billion. It's like, no, it grossed $1 billion. Who knows how much it really made? Somewhere in here, it actually gets it right officially. Yeah. It's equal to $1 billion grossing. That's worldwide. You can do the math and figure out how much Disney really gets for that, and Marvel and everything else. But I find this very, she had a big contract. They took a big chance on her. She had a 7-movie contract, something like that. And now she wants to renegotiate for for a movie that probably is going to be in phase 5. It's several years from now, probably at least 2, if not 3 to 4, because they have to build to what's the big bad for the new Avengers, who's going to be in the new Avengers, who's going to lead it. I've been saying for quite a while, I think we're going to get a dynamic between Spider-Man and Captain Marvel. I think we're going to get a somewhat similar dynamic. I think Spider-Man is going to replace Iron Man. This is why you have the very Iron Man-ish suit, and you have these this quippy comebacks and stuff like it from Spider-Man, whereas Captain America is I keep saying Captain America. Captain Marvel is a bit more straight-laced and cut and dry. There's gonna now, granted, she's human with some degree. I mean, it's she's gone for 20 years, similar to Captain America being in ice for 60, 70 years. When he stalled out in the 40s and early 2000s. So there's a little bit of a time gap, not as much. So there shouldn't be so much fish out of water stuff but there's probably going to be some of that. We're going to get Spider-Man making pop culture references that Captain Marvel isn't going to understand, very similar to Captain America. So that dynamic, I think, is what we're going to see and what's going to play out. But really Marvel has to see if Phase 4 is really going to work. And for Brie Larson to do this now, so 2023 for Avengers 5 reportedly coming out, I think this is absolutely overreaching. Her movie didn't really stand on its own. A lot of people watched it for fear of missing out, and now, granted, who knows how big that is, but time will tell. And it's like, I really hope Marvel says we're going to put a wait and see on this, because we really need to see what happens. Now, if we knew the release date of Captain Marvel, then we would know that Marvel and Disney have confidence in the character and perhaps the actress. Unlike what we've gotten from we have Black Panther 2 and we have the next Spider-Man movie, and the way those are going, we know when things are going for them. The next Guardians of the Galaxy movie. We have a Doctor Strange movie in the works. We have Shang-Chi movie in the works. And we know more about those than we know about Captain Marvel 2. So that, to me, is like, look, Brie, you got to take those with a big grain of salt, because they have no idea. Now, she says the same amount. If there's no particular amount, right, if she's not saying, well, hey, whatever you pay them, then they may sign that. And by the time we get to Avengers 5, everybody's being paid maybe 10 mil or less, because the movies aren't doing as well, right? Avengers Endgame was a big, huge buildup over 10 years or so, 11 years. We're only going to have 3 or 4, maybe 5-year buildup to this. And if they don't do well, and their budgets are going to be probably 120 mil instead of 300 million and more for Endgame. If they don't do well, and let's say the next ones are only 800 mil gross, and then it's 600, and then it's 500, those budgets might get cut to 75 million or smaller. And so it could backfire. It could backfire very easily if they say, okay, we'll pay you the same as the other actors, or even the same as Tom Holland. And if we get to Avengers 5 and the budget has to be cut because these things are not doing well, she may end up with less money than she thinks right now. So I think it's a little bit premature, and I also think it's Brie Larson a little bit ahead of herself, kind of believing her own press and not believing the shenanigans that are going on with her own movie. But we'll see. I could be very, very wrong, and these movies could explode, and Phase 5 could be unbelievable. It could be twice what Phase 3 was, but we'll see. So what do you think? Do you think she's playing her cards a little bit out of hand here? Does she think she's a fool of herself, or do you think this is a great ploy on her part to establish herself as the leader of the Avengers, and that she's going to take it seriously, and that she's going to do a very good job? Let me know in the comments below, and thanks for stopping by, and thanks for sharing everywhere. And thanks so much for clicking the bell notification icon so that you know every time I upload a video. I'm trying to do these about the same time every day. I don't always make it, depending on what's going on. And if you click that bell, you'll know as soon as a new video is available. And thank you. Goodbye. All right, is that? Yeah, I don't think not for long. All right, 3, 2, 1.